Oh shit, Michael, what was the name of this episode?
A Stick of Time.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. It's time to get into Shogun episode 7, A Stick of Time. This episode opens with a very gruesome scene of a bunch of slain soldiers as a man runs through the battleground shouting, "The war is over." Then we see a 12-year-old Toranaga come face to face with the warlord that he's just defeated, Mizoguchi. The man congratulates Toranaga on obtaining a victory at such a young age. Then he surrenders and admits that fate forced him into an unwinnable war. He gets down on his knees and commits seppuku before a baby Toranaga takes his head. Next, we see Toranaga's men waiting for his brother to arrive. While they wait, Yabushige asks Hiromatsu how long it's been since they've seen each other. Now, his answer of too long immediately gave me bad vibes. So in the last episode, the fact that we had never even heard about this half-brother already gave me pause. Half-siblings are a tricky thing from jump, but they seem to have the same mom, which usually doesn't carry the same type of resentment, but a distant half-sibling that you don't ever talk about? I don't know about that. Finally, Toranaga's brother arrives and we get to meet Saeki. And you can sense that something is there, but we aren't quite sure. Things get a little tense when Saeki refers to himself as mediocre, basically saying things must be pretty bad if you have to summon the forces of your mediocre brother. That's when we see Hiromatsu reach for his sword, and Hiromatsu gonna grab his sword every time. You say something that man don't like, hand on sword. Okay? But then Saeki lightens the mood by calling Toranaga some kind of pissy bastard. Okay. And for some reason that lightens the mood and everybody can relax and we're all friends now. And so this was a red flag to me as well in this moment. Toranaga wants to put off telling his brother what's in this for him and says, let's go get drunk first. And his brother, instead of pushing the issue, is just like, yeah, cool, let's go get drunk. Me and my men can't wait to spill blood with you. Like, you haven't seen this man in a long time. There's clearly some kind of tension between y'all. And you're just hella, on board with putting your life at risk and your men's life at risk for this dude? In the next scene, we see Toranaga being upset about the price he has to pay for a week of Kiku's services for his brother, who he refers to as his mongrel half-brother. Come again? Red ass flag. Mongrel? So again, there's definitely something there. He clearly does not like his brother. Blackthorn then enters the scene, asking about what role he's going to play in Crimson Sky, and he's wondering if he's going to take a maritime role. Toranaga becomes visibly upset, and Mariko asks him not to press the issue. But Blackthorn being Blackthorn, of course he has to press the issue. He goes on a tangent about not understanding what all these gifts and things are for. He's starting to feel like all of this stuff is meaningless, but eventually he relents and tells Toranaga that he's loyal to his cause. In the next scene, we see Omi coming to Jin's tea house, and he's requesting an evening with Kiku. Jin unfortunately has to let him know Kiku's booked and busy, and she starts to imply that he should start looking for a different courtesan on his level, implying that, she's elevating. She's elevating, baby. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You need someone on your level. Omi gets a little upset and he tries to insult her tea house, saying that around the village people are talking about how they let that barbarian up in her tea house. And in response, Jin decides to throw a little shade, but it's not even at Omi. I don't know how this information would hurt Omi's feelings. It's only going to get Mariko in trouble. But Jin tosses back at him that Blackthorn seemed to be interested in someone else. So she's just giving out free tea, basically. Like, what kind of pimp shit is that? In the next scene, we see Hirumatsu come to Blackthorn's house where he visits his granddaughter Fuji, and he brings her the remains of her husband and her son. Pleased with the gifts that he brought her, she remarks on how she can't wait to finish her service to Toranaga so that she can become ashes and she can join her family. To this, Hirumatsu's like, why not choose to live? That way you can enjoy the victory that your husband and your son died for. Her instant reaction is to say, will there be a victory? Hirumatsu looks a little stunned, and she immediately apologizes for that and is like, of course we're gonna see victory. Why wouldn't we? You know, right? Everything's looking so good for us. We're gonna make it out of this. Yeah. In the next scene, we see villagers preparing this epic feast for Toranaga's men and Saeki's men. And the food just looks so delectable. I'm trying to go to a Japanese restaurant right During the dinner, Omi, being the slick-mouthed little boy that he is, decides to put a bug in Buntaro's ear about Mariko and Blackthorn. He starts talking about how he admires Mariko's devotion to her service to Blackthorn, and Buntaro checks him and is like, she's in service to Toranaga, not Blackthorn. But he did exactly what he wanted to do. He put the bug in his ear. Buntaro might have checked him, but he took it exactly the way Omi wanted him to take it. So everything at the dinner was going pretty good. Saeki was telling stories about the last time he saw Nagakato and telling stories about Toranaga when they were younger. Everybody's laughing and having a good time. Then he mentions that he wants to know what's in this for him. What's he gonna get out of helping Toranaga? And he brings up being given Izu. And we all know Yabushinge did not like hearing that. Then things start taking an obvious turn towards the worse when Saeki decides to insult Toranaga by telling this story about Toranaga having to be traded to a rival clan to ensure an alliance. And he talks about him being fine until he had to leave his mother's arms, and that he was told that Toranaga shat himself. None of Toranaga's men thought that was funny. Everybody was clearly pissed off and heated off of him being disrespectful. Saeki don't give a damn though, because why would he? He gives little brother energy for sure. As a younger sibling, what are you upset about? What are you upset about? What am I supposed to do about your hurt feelings? I'm supposed to care some kind of way? Ciao. So you think he's gonna try to make the situation better since he sees that everything is tense and people are hot. But no, he decides to double down. And he says, I didn't mean any disrespect. I just always felt really bad for that horse. He once again brings up being Lord of Izu and what a legend that would be. But unfortunately, he's taken another offer. At this point, we hear a commotion outside, and Toranaga's men ring the alarm that Saeki's men have blocked off every road leading out of Izu. A messenger tosses a summons to Hirumatsu. Hirumatsu reads it, and we find out that Toranaga is being summoned back to Osaka Castle to answer for his actions. And we also find out that Saeki is the new 5th regent. Mongrel the region real quick. Saeki then informs Nagakato that he is being ordered to commit seppuku for the murder of, what was that man's name? Johnson. Was it Chosen? His general. Saeki attempts to hand Nagakato the summons, and Nagakato reaches out to grab it, but Toranaga stops him. And this scene is just so intense. You can tell Toranaga's men are just stuck. They don't know what to do. They want to get up, they want to fight, but Toranaga has told them, stand down. But they're fuming. Toranaga calmly tells him he honors their requests and he's going to take it into consideration. He just needs the night to think it over and he'll give him an answer in the morning. Next, we see Saeki having a conversation with Yabushige, and he's letting him know that he knows about him sending his general to negotiate a secret peace, like a secret truce between himself and the council. And he presents Yabushige with his general's head as a response from the council. And Yabushige can't do nothing but chuckle at that point. What is he gonna do? Anxious to know what's going through his father's head, Nagakado confronts Toranaga, asking if they're gonna die with blood on their sword. To that, Toranaga responds, why is it that those who have never fought a battle are so eager to be in one? Bars. Toranaga has a sit down with my girl Jin. She's come to claim her stick of time. A little clever play on words, like a little incense stick. And she has until that incense is burnt out to converse with the Lord. Clever. So Jin would like for Toranaga to take the Willow World under his protection, as she has this idea to set a new standard for courtesans. And she wants to do it in this new city that Toranaga's building in Edo. She basically wants to create like a red light district with tea houses instead of brothels, and be able to create a guild for sex workers. A woman ahead of her time, really. An icon. Toranaga, being the hater that he is, though, he dismisses this enterprising young lady by saying his future is too short for her far-reaching ideas. Frustrated by his reaction, Jin asked him how he could have gotten himself into such an avoidable situation when a spy could have easily alerted him as to what Saeki was plotting, suggesting that Toranaga may be a step ahead and is actually allowing this to happen. But Toranaga is insulted by her remarks, to which she apologizes and blames it on being an uninformed old whore, which I take offense to because I find Jin delightful. And while all this is happening and everyone's in disarray, concerned about their future, whether they're going to be alive tomorrow, Yabushige is doing this. Omi and Nagakado are having another conversation in their little bath. They're taking a little bath together in the hot spring. Nagakado suspects that his father has a plan that he just isn't telling everyone about. And then they start to reminisce on their old lives. And it seems Omi feels like they're being punished for pursuing more. Nagakado makes a comment about, if they're gonna die, he's gonna take as many of those pigs with him, talking about Saeki's men. Saeki interrupts their little conversation and they have this little back and forth about legacy and these young men being taken out before they can ever, build a legacy or before anyone will ever even remember them. But Nagakado states, hey, if this is his fate, then it's going to be a beautiful death. Next, we get this totally unhinged scene between Yabushige and Blackthorn, where it looks like Yabushige just wants to pick a fight with somebody. He starts snapping at Blackthorn about all the shit that's going on, but Blackthorn can't understand him. And then at some point, Yabushige wants to see if Blackthorn can even handle his sword. And so he starts sparring with him. Blackthorn is totally confused, but he goes along with it because what choice does he have? Yabushige starts knocking him around, gets him down on the ground, and then Buntaro just comes out of nowhere and puts his sword to Blackthorn's throat like he's gonna kill him, but he decides not to and just walks away. Then Yabushige gaslights the hell out of Blackthorn by stating he'd be dead if he wasn't standing there. Like, what? You didn't help at all. If anything, you encouraged Buntaro to come over here and do that. I really do hate how much I genuinely love Yabushige. He's absolutely terrible, but he's so funny. And What's so bad about it? You know what I mean? I know. I thought he was a sicko for boiling that man, but I mean, I said I was gonna light that boat on fire. Are we that much different? I'm starting to see the humanity in Yabushige. Then we get to see a scene where Toranaga is dictating his will. And in it, he has 2 cho. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. A cho is a unit of measure, which is about 110 meters. And he has 2 cho of land set aside for our girl Jin in the city that he's building in Edo. And it's there for her to do whatever she wishes. Just then, Buntaro approaches Toranaga to ask for permission to take Blackthorn's head. The man said he don't like the way he be looking at his wife. But Toranaga reverse Unos on him and lets him know if you want to kill Blackthorn, you got to take out your wife too. And to that, Marihiko says this. 私の命は夫の思うがままでござりまする. I just about knocked my TV off the sand. Buntaro finally admits to just being petty. He drops it and he excuses himself. Toranaga then turns his frustrations to Marihiko, demanding she cut this shit with Blackthorn. He needs her to choose a side. Marihiko once again expresses her loyalty to Toranaga. I don't know what that has to do with her loyalty to him. She's clearly loyal to this man. But then she asks that Toranaga grant her death tonight, and she hands him a knife. Toranaga pauses for a moment, and then he knocks the knife out of her hand. Toranaga seems so triggered by death. I think he might be traumatized. The man he's at his wit's end, with everyone around him just like running towards death. Finally, Saeki arrives to get Toranaga's formal response about his summons. Toranaga says he will surrender and return to Osaka Castle. His men are visibly shook. They were not expecting that. But he tells them that he can't destroy the realm, regardless of if there's evil afoot. Blackthorn ends up having a little outburst that no one can understand except for Mariko. And she's not about to translate because what good would that do? Child, back at Jin's tea house, we see Saeki giving Kiku some of the lamest stroke. Okay? She looks so bored. Poor Tink. But he's talking about bringing her back to his castle in Edo. She gonna be his 7th consort. He's like, I'm gonna build you a palace, baby. You gonna be the luckiest consort of them all, okay? Saeki happens to have an asphyxiation kink, which is obvious from this long red fabric that she has wrapped around his neck. Kiku asks for permission to bring in something that will elevate their play, and he's all about it. So he allows her to go grab these tools, but when she leaves, we see one of his men get chopped down, and Nakakato just pops up. He's ready to kill Saeki, but Saeki runs outside trying to escape, and there's men all around him fighting. Saeki slips on some wet rocks as Nagakato draws his sword, slowly bearing down on him. But just like his uncle, he too slips on some wet rocks, but he falls on his back, violently crushing his head against a large rock, killing him. Saeki manages to get back up on his feet. He stands over Nagakato and asks, where is the beauty in this? And that is how episode 7 comes to an end. They have to do little Nagakato like that. What a whack-ass death. He had the wackest death. It was entertaining though. It might have been a little whack death for him, but it was a moving scene for me. Good scene. It was such a good episode. Again, the anxiety. The way they just walked into this trap irked me. It irked me so bad. And if I find out at some point that Toranaga used to mistreat his brother, why did you think this man was going to be of service to you? And it seemed like he didn't want to offer his brother anything except for a week with Kiku. Like, come on. And calling him a mongrel? I'm not never going to get over that. A mongrel? Just giving some racist shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's Google it. Mongrel. A dog of no definable type or breed. An animal resulting from the crossing of different breeds or types. Yeah. And you thought this man was going to come help you? Toranaga. And you expected him to want to die for you? Unless Toranaga is really one step ahead of everybody else. Jin seems to think that, lying like, I feel like you could have been tipped off to what Saeki was doing. Even Nakakata was like, I think my dad has some kind of plan. So he could have a plan. Hey, maybe Seiki's in on it. You know, maybe Seiki's playing along. I want to know what you guys think. I want to hear some of you guys' theories. We have 8, 9, 10. We have 3 episodes left, you guys. It's almost over. I need more show suggestions. Some movies would be cool too. I'm looking forward to House of Dragon. Definitely going to be doing that. There is a new Star Wars show coming out. I heard that it got canceled already though too. But I don't know. That's just an internet rumor. I'm going to look into it. There was something else. Oh, Interview with a Vampire. The next season of Interview with a Vampire is coming out soon. Love it. So run me some suggestions, you guys. I'm obviously into a lot of like the sci-fi stuff. That's my bag. Anything magical, witchy. Love that. I love anime. Any good animated thing. It doesn't have to be anime because I love Castlevania and Castlevania is not considered an anime. Loved Nocturne. Whew. Speaking of Nocturne, fuck Alucard. Oh, bitch ass, I used to love you. It's your lonely ass. That's why you ain't got no friends. Oh, lonely ass, half human ass, bitch ass loser. Fuck you. Let me know your suggestions down below. Don't forget to let me know about your theories on what's going on with Toranaga. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.